Adieu. Adieu. Oh, that's
No.
right. I could play this from here.
I don't know what any of this shit is, and I'm fucking scared.
First, you're gonna tell me about this science stuff.
Sorry about that. What is a scientist?
You caught me like I'm experimenting with
science.
It's like magic with electricity.
I know that. I'm not stupid. I'm smarter than you.
The smartest scientists in the entire world all agree
Science is a liar sometimes.
Seriously, this could not seem less scientific.
Those idiots don't know anything about science.
It's science.
I believe it's pronounced science.
This is the least scientific thing I've ever seen.
So I'm just experimenting with them.
You be quiet.
Thank you, scientist.
Yeah. Welcome again.
Welcome. Before we say anything else,
Sure.
the drummer from Fart Barf is awesome. I can just
Right?
listen to those stupid fills all day, and it's not even like anything like spectacular, but it's just so steady and creative. He's good.
Precise. It's
Yeah.
so like it's not doing anything more than it needs to be. Like it's not overly complex. Just like perfect simple fills. Like
Yeah.
not having to do too much with just a little bit.
Right. Just he's got that little space to play in, and he does it just enough. Yeah.
Sure fucking does, man.
Yeah. Thanks again, Fart Barf.
Yeah, thank you again, Fartbar, for giving us permission to use your copywritten material, as we are, at least until this point, a not-for-profit.
I profit, but not financially. There are other profits.
Yeah. Ooh, crackety voice. It's fun to do.
It sure is.
Yeah, shit. It was another long break. Another long break. No,
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
No different to the rest of you folks, but it's been like almost 2 weeks since we've recorded one. That's why
we've only been talking in text form.
That's true, and it's weird because it'll like we've already brought it up how it turns into like, all right, it's all business because I don't want to burn any jokes in the text.
Yeah. I want to say something about that so bad, but I'll save it for the show.
Yeah, it's like, now I'll hold it, and hopefully not forget it.
Actually, now that you're saying that, I definitely said that, and I don't remember the joke, but I was saving it.
Oh.
It'll come back to me.
There's a lot going on, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't do anything terribly crazy with my 10-day hiatus. Yeah.
I mean, I unfortunately a friend of mine passed away, so I went to Awake in Staten Island. Sorry to bring it down, but
sorry to hear.
Yeah, that was I mean the only thing that happened in my week.
That is a pretty noticeable thing.
Yeah, do something with that, funny man.
Yeah, right. You could. Yeah, I got nothing on that.
No. It was an interesting wake. I mean, one thing he was Dominican and Cuban, so this was my first non-white wake.
Oh wow!
So one of the main differences in like the only thing, and it's messed up to say because I understand the emotional, bag, like the weight of this, and the person, I'm not even going to name names, but a person in question got a little bit upset vocally as the priest was giving their spiel, the prayers and how God's plan and all that. And this is a 41-year-old man that passed away, so the individual was saying this was God's plan, that to take a 41-year-old away. And at a white wake, it would be, this person is hysterical. Come on, shh, come on, grandma, or whoever it is. Let's go, and shush them out of the room.
Yeah.
At this Latino wake, it was more like, answer the question, Father. She asked you a question. like it's a totally different vibe as far as like that kind of
Wow.
thing went. Yeah. So I mean, to see that, and this guy, he even said he's in seminary school still. Like this was not. Yeah, it was a tough one for him. They should have gave him the old white lady that he could have got his feet wet a little bit before hopping
Yeah.
into this. 'Cause there was. I mean, and like I said, it was a awful tragic thing. So I mean, to notice, understandably upset. I was upset. Everybody was upset, but you know,
Yeah.
you
Oh
could see
man,
he was sweating a bit.
that's you know what? You got to learn to deal with a few hecklers. Even though that's not a true heckle, but
Yeah, he's got to work on his crowd work. Needs
yeah.
some fine tuning.
Do you
I mean,
think they bring up crowd work at seminary schools?
I I doubt it. Yeah, I think they still assume like that it's the 1800s in a way. Like that I don't know. They stand on a pedestal and everyone comes in with no hat and all that. We're past that. You're a dude. You went to school. You have a Facebook page, father.
Right? Like I feel like that should automatically
Yeah, you're no closer to
disqualify.
God.
Oh, well, this is a good spot to work this shit in. So one of the amusing things about the age we became friends is I sort of know about your life before high school, but not much.
Right.
So I just automatically assume like that everybody has a similar experience to me, or at least I did for a while, and like now I actually ask questions
Yeah.
and don't just wait to speak. But but yeah, so I knew you had some Catholic upbringing, but I didn't know into what depth. And you were not an altar boy.
No,
As
I was never an altar boy.
I was.
Okay.
Definitely was. And just to get the hack joke out of the way, I wasn't molested. It wasn't cute enough, like that joke.
Yeah, it was
As
consensual.
always
We
comes
know.
up. Yeah.
Softball, sorry.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Something about wearing a tablecloth over a black undercoat.
Yeah. It just does it.
Just every time. I remember the story from when I was an altar boy. So when you would serve regular masses, it was just regular Monday through Friday or Sunday or Saturday, whatever. And weddings and funerals, there was always the possibility for a tip.
I've heard that.
Yeah. So weddings, obviously, way more likely, but not outside the realm of possibility for funerals. And funerals would happen during the school day, and they were always at like 11 a.m. or 10 a.m. So it was like, fuck yeah, I'm getting out of fucking class for a little bit. It's a funeral, so I might get like $5 out of this, and then I could come back, and then it's lunchtime, and they had like the Linden's cookies, and with the chocolate chip and the butter crunch, and then they also had like a bunch of who made Bravos? Was that Utz? They had a bunch of Utz potato chips, and it was like a quarter per bag or per thing of each thing. And so walking into lunch with $5, it was like fucking making it rain. Fucking
yeah.
You
want Bravos? You want Bravos?
Yeah.
Who wants?
Look at you. You look like a dipsy doodle. Get this guy a dipsy doodle, huh?
55 Bravos, 55 dipsy doodles, 50.
Oh, shit.
It's going nuts.
Oh, shit. You win. You got the first season 3 quote in.
I was thinking of how to work it in, but I couldn't think of a name of another chip till you said Dipsy Doodle. So thank you. Those are the days.
Yeah, so it was like, all right, cool. This is what's gonna happen. So that it was like, all right, pretty cool.
Right.
I'm going to a funeral, but just have to.
Sorry about your world being shattered, but I'm
Yeah.
about to get $5 out of this, and I'm missing out on stupid English.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, at least we're not all sad, right? At the end of the day, at least some of us are happy.
I mean, unfortunately, that is the only fact of life, right? It ends at some point. It's so.
Yeah. Fucking.
At least someone's getting paid.
Yeah, as long as somebody's getting I always wondered if well, when I go specifically, I just want whoever is there or whoever is left and whoever can attend, make sure you take those bereavement days, motherfucker. That's why you got them. If I'm giving you some days off, I mean, granted, if you're still working, obviously, whoever it is at that point, but take those bereavement days. They're there.
Yeah.
Get them.
Why the fuck not?
Enjoy an RDO on me.
When I go, I don't want to do the wake thing. I don't want to do the. I guess it's for closure and stuff like that, but I don't know. That's just weird. Like, have a party. Save all the money on that. You can. I don't even give a shit about a coffin. I'm like, I'm from the Frank Reynolds school of thought. And throw me in the trash. What do I care? Tell me.
Oh, I was just getting ready to say it too.
Yeah. But yeah, like, I'm gonna be gone. I don't care. Save your money. Throw a party. Everybody get drunk and tell the good stories about me. That's what lives on.
Yeah, not
quietly look at my corpse.
Yeah, and that's better than hearing a priest who you've never met before try to console a bunch of strangers about somebody that they don't know. Like, I get that in communities where the people are active in the parish. But that you're just going in like you have nothing on this person.
No.
And I wonder, so that's probably like a comedian doing a show in like a town they've never done it before. Like, it's just, or I guess, all right, so then never mind that. The first 12 years of being a professional comedian is just playing to not your crowd.
Yeah. And just trying to win over with nobody.
Yeah.
Just people there sitting with arms folded or whatever.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's gotta be nerve-wracking.
Oh, man.
But I feel like the priest coming in, so imagine you had a candle and it burnt all the way down. Now it's gone. It's someone coming in talking about how the candle served its purpose and every candle was made with love and all blah blah. Like, do you want to hear that, or do you want to talk about all the cool shit you saw while the candle was burning? That's kind of how I look at it.
Fair enough. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It should just be nonstop eulogies.
Yeah.
Just from everyone in the crowd. Just rotate through.
Yeah, give your best, everybody. Stand up, give your best story.
Give your best this guy's story. Oh, so anywho,
we should do that before. Sorry to change this. But we should do that before we die. Let's have one of those parties where we take turns. Just give your best story about this dude while he's here.
Oh man, do we do that do we do one party per person? Do we try to do like one big party?
I think so. No. I think the first one party per person.
Everybody gets their own, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's kind of like it's gonna end up being a roast.
Yeah. That works too.
Bob doesn't have to come, does he? Fucking all the dirt. That fucking guy. Yeah, I'd way more rather do that. Like I have the worst FOMO of anyone I know that's not my 5-year-old nephew.
Yeah.
And like I still give him a run for his money at 42. Like we my wife and I went and picked up my cousin and his wife. That's Lawrence, Law, and Nicole, for those who know, respectively. Anywho's, I worked that morning. I was up at 4:30. Drove to Brooklyn to pick him up. Brought him back to my house, and I fell asleep around midnight. Like we were up hanging out, watching stuff, and then I couldn't stay awake anymore, and I went and passed out. And I had passed out like full diagonally, like as though I was the line to show that somebody won tic-tac-toe diagonally on our bed. Like that was
Oof.
when Lauren came to bed, and she took a picture of me, and she was showing me the next morning. And I was like, "Oh, what time did you take that?" And I looked at it, and it was like 10-3. And immediately I was like, "I went to bed at midnight. You guys were up till 10-3?" Even though my body was like, "We cannot do this awake anymore. You have to go to sleep."
All of the funny things that you said right now.
Yeah, that's what it was. It's like, right fucking now. Right now. Put the tape on. I need to hear all the fucking jokes that happened. And everyone has to come back in here and listen to what my jokes would have been if I was still awake.
Let's reenact last night right now.
But yeah, so if obviously I'm already having FOMO about my own funeral.
Oh,
like
really?
Since you brought it up, I already have a little bit of FOMO. God, everyone's gonna be there.
Yeah, then we got a fucking. I have so many jokes. I'm not.
Yeah, it's like fucking shit, man. What if it? Well, I'm just gonna have to outlive all of you then.
That's an idea. I don't know if my experience with previous funerals is any indication. I would imagine your funeral is gonna suck due due to the death.
Due to the whole you no longer being here.
Right.
So back to the story. So we get this funeral that we're doing, and we get to the church. And obviously it's a funeral. You can, as you mentioned, it sucks every time. And one of the other 3 guys I was serving with, all day, like I think it was like Marchish. It was still kind of cold, but not snowing anymore. Like start of allergy season, and all day he's just doing like like he sounded ridiculous when he cleared his throat. It was like
Kermit.
Yeah, almost like Seth Rogen laughing, like just like that kind of fucking. So that's that little bit of backstory, and then right at the part where the altar boys line up, like the last big blessing of the Eucharist before the priest is going to give it out, he starts doing it again, and he's not doing it to be funny. I don't think. If he was, I respect his game even more because I couldn't even tell.
That's Andy Kaufman levels.
Yeah. So he starts like he does like a quick little one, and I feel like just oh god, like a laugh building up inside me, and I'm like, I can't. And then a second time, like just like that, and just is what I did to keep it in, just a quick like that. And then I was like, maybe I can play this off as a sneeze, and went a second time to try to cover it up.
Achoo!
Yeah. so stuffy in here. Has anyone dusted? Oh man, yeah. And then one of the mourners after during the Eucharist give out part, or after we all went up, like walked up on the side and scolded us all in the back of a church. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but all the kids in the 80s, man, it was just like, there's an adult, they're probably going to yell at me. Like every adult just yelled at you in the 80s.
But so this was like 6th grade, so I was maybe 12 or 11 or something like that.
Okay,
and
92.
Yeah. So, well, the reason I bring that up is because he's yelling at us, and he definitely said "fuck" a few times. And in my head, I was like,
"Oh,
he's saying "fuck" in church."
Yeah.
It would have been really funny if I was like, "Excuse me, sir, you're in a church. You can't say fuck."
Right.
Just
I'm
would have
sorry.
murdered
Who do you
us on the
think
spot.
Jesus is more offended by? The kid saying "fuck," or the guy saying "fuck" to the kids, or the kids who were laughing about this Kermit voice?
Yeah.
Even God has a sense of humor. Speaking of my favorite story, from Willie Galt detention. So, just for anyone who doesn't know who that is, it's just the dean of discipline at my high school during detention. He was reading off the names of the kids that were in detention, the attendance list. It was not in alphabetical order.
I think I know this story, and I think I was in the room for it.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we were in detention together then, and it was Wood, Cox, and Woodcock. Those 3 names in a row. Someone must have did it to mess with them, because after he read those, and like the first one, Wood, the kids started snickering. Cox, the kids started really snickering, and then Woodcock, and the kids lost it. And he had to put his head down. He had to put his head down to cover up how hard he was laughing. And then he came up and said, "Even God has a sense of humor, gentlemen."
I remember him after the second name, like, gave a short but loud scolding, like, speech of the room, like threatening to keep us till like 5 p.m. or some shit like that. And then he says the next name and just
he couldn't even.
No, he couldn't even. Like that's like Impractical Joker's level shit.
Yeah, I feel like one of the other teachers had to have put it in that order. I don't know, unless it's just the order that you get sent to detention, you get put on the list as it goes, and then they don't sort it, and it just so happened. But I don't know, that seemed kind of set up-ish.
Yeah, anyone who's ever given the example of the universe forming is like a breeze coming along and blowing together the parts of an airplane perfectly. Like it has to be a miracle. Having those 3 names in a row randomly, that's a fucking miracle.
Yeah.
That's where you should have started with that to convince me.
That's more unlikely than the universe coming together.
Yeah.
To counter that, though, if you have an infinite number of breezes blowing an infinite number of particles, eventually one of them is going to be an airplane. But
yeah,
so maybe that's we're living in the multiverse, in the particular universe where Wood, Cox, and Woodcock were in a row. There's some other detention where that didn't happen, and someone got in trouble.
There was one where one of them did not step in a puddle on the way to the car and have to go back in and change his shoes and wasn't late that day.
Yep. And that was you?
No, that was one of the 3 of them. No, I was on indefinite detention at that time. Oh, no, I wasn't. I wasn't. That was my senior year. I was on indefinite, which you couldn't have been there.
Okay. I was on indefinite detention for cutting.
Oh, nice. Good for you, man.
Bullshit. Like 2 periods, 6 out of 8 periods. But I digress. Stupid bullshit.
I got mine for during lunch. Dropped my pants on the table and then did the truffle shuffle. So pulled my shirt up as well.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yours is way worse. I was just like, fucking, I'm not going to calculus.
I had I got outright screamed at by 3 or 4 teachers and deans of discipline and whatnot. But there were also at least 3 teachers who were like, "That's fucking great."
Yeah. Man knows what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you've
So
seen the Goonies, come on.
Yeah, right. Speaking of the Goonies,
How? Do it.
How
Let's hear
what?
this transition.
Speaking of the Goonies, after I watched the YouTube videos about 31 facts about the Goonies, is the thing I've just made up. I was no, I've been watching a bunch of wrestling as of late on the YouTube, and I stumbled across 2 things that actually have legitimate science questions involved in them. They're
Okay.
Wrestlers and or managers said ridiculous things, and I want to check their work.
Sounds
So
good.
I went to the smartest guy I know, which is you.
I also have been watching wrestling lately, as I've been watching wrestling my whole life as well, but also lately.
I was gonna say you're Mitch Hedberg in this shit.
Yep.
I used to watch wrestling. I still watch wrestling, but I also used to too.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about this one. So Hulk Hogan made a claim that due to time changes and the time difference between traveling between the United States and Japan, crossing the international date line and whatnot, that he actually wrestled 400 days one year. And firstly, I was like, all right, maybe they're just pulling an off the cuff comment he made in like an interview once or something like that. He fucking put it in his book.
Yeah.
He was like, no, I want this to get out there
Forever. In
Yeah.
perpetuity.
Everyone needs to know that I defied the laws of physics
Right.
for my wrestling career.
And he is notorious for being an embellisher or artistic with the truth, I guess is another good way to put it. And he'll say that Hulk Hogan and Terry Bollea, like Terry Bollea, he only has an average sized penis. It's Hulk Hogan he's got the fucking the baby's arm holding the apple kind of like. So
turns out he didn't have 2 26-inch pythons, huh?
Yeah. But I think so that's kind of where he'll try to get away with some of this stuff to say, no, this was Hulk Hogan in character. I was saying this kind of thing, but clearly, obviously, you can't do that. I mean, the international date line is just there for as like a line of demarcation to say that the day starts somewhere on this spinning ball. But like, if you fly across one way, and let's say whichever way it is, you lose the day, there's a return trip, right? Like, unless he's flying in some kind of sub light speed jet that's going all the way around the international date line the other way, like he's got to come back, and all that the day that he lost now gets added back because he's flying back across the thing. And also 365 days is how, like, a year is we're at point A and we do a lap around the sun back to point A. You can't fit in days for wrestling just because you're large and blonde and in a plane.
Not even for wrestling?
Not even for wrestling.
God
no.
damn it. Fucking
A
universe
year
is bullshit.
A year is a year. Yeah.
What is the... All right. So even let's say so it's flying west to Japan will give you that's going back into yesterday, correct? Technically,
I forget which way it is, to be honest with you, but let's allow that. Let's just say it's west,
yeah,
because I
at
don't
least
remember these. But either way, whatever way it is, we're gonna go with west. That yes, you're now going back a day on the calendar because you're going across time zones the other way.
yeah, and you know what? I think because it gets earlier and earlier in the day the further west you go. So this makes even more sense in my head. That does not
Yeah.
make it right by any means, but it sounds good to me. All
Sure.
right. So anywho, so let's say you have some type of craft or mechanism that allows you to get from one side of the earth. Lets you get from Tokyo, from California to Tokyo in a half hour. So now you are in Tokyo. Let's say it's 1 a.m. you leave California.
Okay.
You're in Tokyo at what would be 1:30 a.m.
If it was January, let's go
local
with
time
January
where
1st
you
because it's the easiest to go with. Yeah. Okay. So you're January 1st in California at 1 a.m. It takes you a half hour to zip across.
So
So you're
now you're
1:30 a.m. California time, but you're
yesterday and last year.
yeah. So you're technically it's
So
December 31st at I don't know. I don't have the exact time zone, but let's go with 4
right.
p.m. Something
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then how long would it well then you'd have that same device that could get you going back the other way technically, right? So then now it's a half hour, or let's say it's 10 minutes to get across the international date line by however got you there, because it's a shorter distance around the world that way. Only an
Going
hour
back now, Tokyo to Cali.
yeah,
Okay.
but it's the second you cross that date line the day goes forward.
Yeah, so all those time zones that you went through. So let's say
Oh man.
just to make it easier, let's
Mhm.
say you fly one time zone per hour. So you're leaving California at 6 p.m. You fly an hour west at 6 p.m. in this new time, and it stays 6 p.m. until you get to now you're in Japan on December 31st at 6 p.m. because you went one time zone per hour. Now when you come back, that shit squishes basically now where it kind of like doubles back to get you back to it. So you're coming, it's like 2 hours would be going by for every hour east that you go to get you back. When you're in
Right, because you're
California,
crossing
it'll be
each
mhm,
time. Right.
yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. I guess I didn't just backdoor time travel after all.
Nope, neither did Hulk Hogan.
Like it's he's talking about it like the same way fucking Kramer and Newman were talking about going to Detroit or going to Michigan because bottle deposits are 10 cents there instead of
Right.
5. Like it there's no way it's profitable, Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense. That's so good. um the other thing, and I rewatched the promo of it, was the manager Slick apparently has 3 laws of wrestling dynamics.
Yeah, they're good ones.
Yeah, which he starts with number 3.
I was gonna say the first law is number 3, first and foremost. It goes 3-1-2. That's very that's an accepted theory.
He's already thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
But that one is 3 men's plus 2 men's is or is it was something ridiculous like that. It's like, so
Yeah. 3 men is going to beat 2 men, basically, is what he was saying. That it's 3 of them versus the other 2. So 3 is going to beat 2 every time. That's rule number 3 of the what was it? The
3
laws of pro wrestling.
Laws of wrestling dynamics.
Laws of wrestling dynamics. So that's number 3. Which, all right, starting with that, I don't know if he's ever seen wrestling before, but I can think of many times that Stone Cold Steve Austin beat numerous people by himself. Degeneration X versus with the Spirit Squad, that was 2-on-5, and DX with only 2 beat the 5. So I wouldn't call
who is the
that
Spirit
a law.
Squad again?
With Nikki, Kenny, Mikey. The only one left is Dolph Ziggler, who was Nick Nemeth. He was Nikki, so he's still around. But there was
I don't even remember that.
Ken Doane, Johnny Jeter. I forget who else was in it, but it was 5 up and comers that they basically destroyed. Like, they signed them just to shit on them and cut them. I don't understand the point of that, but yeah. Other than Dolph, yeah. But yeah, that law is pretty loose.
Yeah, as long as it's scripted as such,
Right.
it will go that way.
Yeah.
Number 2, or was it number 1? Right, it was number 1. That's right, because it was number 3.
Yeah. So number 1 was Akeem.
Yeah, and it was that was the law of the jungle.
Yeah.
Eat or be eaten, and he is hungry.
Yeah. And also large.
Yeah.
So I am going to say that rule 1 is a fact. That is proven, tested, and whatever you say, Akeem.
I will not dispute you, but there
Yeah.
are. That's how apex predators work.
Right. And rule number 2, which was probably my favorite because it's Big Boss Man. Rule number 2 is the law of the land. And then he goes on to say things that have nothing to fucking do with the land in any way, shape, or form. The law of the land, you have the right to suffer. You have the right to, like, he went on into, like, fake Miranda rights that had him more to do with him beating people up. But, like, my favorite thing about Big Boss Man is it does not matter what he is saying. He believes it. He believes every word that's coming out of his mouth 100%. And because of that, I believe it. Even though this, like, if you, like, we're break it down right now and look at it, it doesn't mean anything. But I'm like, oh, yep, Big Boss Man said it. So
it's that same principle is what our professional podcast relationship is based entirely on.
Yeah.
Is that I don't know if it necessarily is the truth, but you fucking believe it, and because you believe it,
sounds right to me.
I believe it.
Right.
It's not even like that. It's like, oh, I don't know I don't know how to dispute this. It's like, I'm not going to, because you clearly believe this is true. So do I.
I'm gonna get this tattooed because he just said it on my skin. I have my stone etcher handy.
I could either not believe you or have this on my skin forever. Let's put it on my skin forever. All right, so Hogan, yeah, Hogan, Hulk Hogan. So Hulk Hogan, complete bullshit. You can't wrestle 400 days in 365.
No.
2 out of the 3 laws of wrestling dynamics are true.
Yes, they're legit. Even though 1 is complete bullshit, somehow it's true.
Right. Well, I mean, as we said, he believes it, so you believe it, and you believe it, so I believe it.
That's kind of all we need.
Yeah. And that's how a cult starts.
AKA Swim Club. Yeah, come on. Hulk Hogan's an asshole. $5 to get in.
We'll start a whole cult that Hulk Hogan's an asshole.
But Terry Bollea is allowed to join.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan is not.
Terry Bollea has a lifetime membership.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan cannot make it through the gates.
And Terry Bollea once a day has to shit on Hulk Hogan for being a liar. You won't believe what he said, brother.
A whole monastery of. There's got to be a Hulk Hogan monastery joke, right? Where it's just like a whole monastery full of Hulk. I guess I'm writing a Family Guy bit in my head apparently, but
A Hulk Hogan monastery.
It's just a whole monastery of Hulk Hogan's, and just walking by each other, brother, and, or they're like sitting down, like studying something.
One of them has to say, "Dude."
Yeah, someone has a. Dude, you have a question? Yes, brother.
I don't have a question, actually. Let me tell you something, brother.
Shit. Love it. Oh man.
So we have 42 minutes in, and we really haven't touched on science.
That's not true. We just had a whole segment on science.
That's true. Yeah, we did. All right. I forgot about that already.
But yeah, the intended topic for this week was 3D printing shit and manufactured stuff.
It's fucking cool.
Yeah, it's if we could start with the the one you so appropriately sent the picture and said there's too much fucking shit on it.
Before we get to that,
okay, yeah, sure.
I have a 3D printer. I have a plastic 3D printer that prints, there's various different types of plastics, PLA, PETG, there's the different temperatures, different nozzles, blah, blah, blah. The way it works, the computer has an X, Y, and Z axis. So you have just coordinates, basically, that say either push stuff out of the nozzle at this coordinate or don't push stuff out of the nozzle at this coordinate. And it does it in layers. It starts with the Z layer 1, various X and Y that it puts stuff on, then it goes up layer by layer by layer by layer until it builds whatever thing out of melted plastic that cools and hardens. So just as a base, that is how 3D printing works. And even with these more exotic versions that we're doing, it's still the same thing, just instead of plastic, they're using different types of materials, building up a base and having the different layers where you either put the cells or put the whatever or you don't. So just kind of wanted to establish that's how it works.
And I have a which actually Lauren had before she and I were together. We have a Rancor head that was 3D printed, but it's 3D printed on like a little, like it's supposed to look like a taxidermied Rancor head.
Okay.
It's got like a little wooden like thing behind
the
it.
deer head trophy kind of.
Yeah, like a wooden wall mount.
Okay.
Type thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's not like crazy big. It's probably like the size of my fist, maybe a little bigger. But
yeah,
still, that was done 10 years ago.
Oh wow. And it was probably done on something similar to what I have, because unless you have like a crazy heavy duty one, like I've printed some things that are, 6 to 8 inches and 3 by 3, I would say, and it's like above 15 hours to print the thing because
Holy
it takes
shit.
so. Yeah, depending on what you want the inside, because you could just print a shell, but then you step on it and the thing is crushed because there's nothing on the inside. So, like, I mean, with the 3D printers, they have like honeycomb patterns that give it some kind of support. You can do solid all the way through, but then forget about 17 hours. You're looking at a couple days of just filling this thing in. So it's
And
not
now
it.
they have ones where almost like using a different type of ink, like a different color ink. Like you'll have a different texture, and I'm sorry, like a different ingredient, for lack of, because you were saying like
Yeah,
the different types of plastic, but
material.
yeah,
Yeah,
material. There's the appropriate
yeah,
word. But yeah, it could shoot out a couple different types of material to make
sure.
one overall thing.
Yeah. I've printed some stuff that is like rubbery. I've
Mhm.
printed some stuff that is harder, firmer, a little more stiff. They're like depending on what you're going for.
The like you have ones that'll shoot multiple things out of it, like a couple different kind of textures. That's on
No,
the.
I
Oh,
have
okay.
one spool of however much plastic, and it just prints the one thing.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
There
no,
we go. Yeah,
that's
so that's how it
yeah.
comes in like spools and
That I
stuff.
mean, my printer cost about $185, like in that range. They have printers out there that go for thousands that you can, my thing does one at a time and it takes forever. You can get some of these high end ones that you can print multiple things at once and it only takes a couple minutes. It's like a resin rather than a plastic. There's all
Wow.
different types of materials and technologies for it now.
The um nope, lost that one. All right, we'll get back to that whenever
Yeah.
that thought shows up.
But transitioning from that into what you were talking about with the "this is too much fucking shit on me" face mask picture, we will share that in the show details below. Um, yeah, but one of
That
the things that they're doing now. Oh,
it's
sorry. Go ahead.
also kind of a Texas Chainsaw Massacre Mankind kind
Mm.
of a look as well.
Leatherface, Hannibal Lecter when he was pretending to be the guard,
Yeah,
all that kind
yeah,
of stuff. Jim Carrey and the Cable Guy.
yeah. Jim Carrey in The Mask.
Yeah.
Eric
Yeah.
Stoltz in The Mask. Leonardo DiCaprio in The Man in the Iron Mask. I'm just naming mask
Uh-huh.
movies now.
The Mission Impossible movies where they tear their face off and it turns out there was someone else all along.
That other movie where they tear their faces off. Face Off.
Face Off.
That one as well. Quick sidebar. Do you know Nicolas Cage finished shooting Con Air and immediately started shooting Face Off? He did those two movies back to back.
Wow.
Like had
I
a
did not
day
know
or
that.
two off between them.
No, I didn't know that. Nick, he's an easy target for some reason because his bad movies are bad, but his good movies are good.
Exactly.
Yeah,
He's a conundrum.
he is.
Masks, Face Off. Oh yeah.
Man.
We're gonna get to this article before the 50-minute mark, I promise.
So what they're doing now, burn dressing, like when burn victims require some kind of dressing that they put on to help the skin heal. The biggest pain in the ass is changing the dressing because when they pull it off and put it on, apparently it's very, very painful. Thankfully, I've never been burned and I don't know about this. But what they're printing now is easier to get off, less painful. Um, they can scan the body part that they're looking to fit it to, so they have a custom fitting so that it fits. Like if they had to put it on your face, say they have all the nooks and crannies, so it fits nice. And what I have written here is it's printed using a biopolymer derived from seaweed, a thermally responsive polymer, and cellulose nanocrystals.
Which I had to look up nanocrystals before. I was like, I gotta see what these motherfuckers are.
Sounds cool as shit.
It
What does
does.
it mean?
It's it's a crystal that has that at least one of the dimensions is 100 nanometers. The other ones can be
Interesting.
bigger, but one of the 3 dimensions has to be. Which in my head immediately I was like, all right, well, what if it's got like a chip? Actually, well, no, dimensions. So then it would be length with height. It's not just like one random side kind of thing. All right.
Right.
I see you, science. Outsmart me again. But
That's all
yeah,
it does.
that's that. And it's like around the same size as nanoparticles. Like that kind of small.
Okay, so yeah, just microscopic, teeny tiny.
Yeah, with the fact that we
Which,
can make shit that small already is like
yeah,
wild.
no, it's insane.
I
mean, this whole thing is insane, and I mean, the additional, like, yes, that is one awesome use for it, but they can expand this. They were saying they can use this for cancer treatment. For like normally, if you need chemo, sometimes you got to sit in a chair for hours on end. They can put like a slow release kind of thing into this, where say you have some kind of pocket almost on part of your body where the slow release medicine could go in, and this pocket made out of this printed stuff would hold it, so you can go about your day while you're receiving chemo treatments. So or at least be in I shouldn't say go about your day. It's not like anyone's like, oh, gotta go shopping. Well, yeah, at least you're in the comfort of your own home as you're
right, yeah, because it's kicking
going
your
through
ass.
this bullshit. Yeah, exactly. It's not like you don't walk much.
Now I know that it's normally done through a port, and then it kind of gets to where it has to go in the body. Does it with this type of technology? Do they make it and put it over the part like that's being treated specifically, or is it still
No,
going to the one spot and then making its way around in the making its way through the body via circulation?
Yeah, going to the one spot. It's still got to get into the bloodstream, get near the heart, so the heart can pump it. That's why they put the port there. But it would be kind of like a kangaroo pouch almost for your slow release medicines that you can at least not sit in one stupid spot while this is being administered.
Yo, that sounds like I could put that in MF Doom's voice. Kangaroo pouch for your slow release medicines. It has a nice has a nice rhythm to it. And it's just why are these words next to each other? Who put these here?
If we weren't live, I would be writing stuff down. There's ouch and denizens. There's ways to rhyme with that too. That's another. Eventually, we'll bring that contest to the show where you name a random thing and a rapper and try to come up with a rhyme in style of said rapper that incorporates random thing. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, that would. We need a lot more side practice with that one.
Yes. Yeah. This is a teaser.
What was the other things about this? Let's see. Cancer treatment. Well, I can bring this as an addendum to that. They also within, and obviously this doesn't have nearly the cool parts of like stuff doing slow release medicines and stuff, but they've been using fish skins for a while to put over wounds that have difficulty healing or burn wounds. And it's the combination of it keeps the skin moist and also has stuff in it that helps your body heal. So it's like the fish skin has like the almost built-in medicine, but it's like it's like supplements dermatologically
Okay.
through the skin. I don't know. That's not the right word, but
It has to be. Yeah.
that has to be the right word for something.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way that's a wrong word. It's a fantastic word.
But so now, I guess with that is, in theory, once they get like really, really good at this shit, they could probably 3D print fish skin, right?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, and that's a fantastic transition to the second article. They're already 3D printing Wagyu beef. So why the hell not?
Can we talk about that word for like 2 seconds? You say Wagyu.
I don't know how to pronounce it. I
I
might
don't
be
know that
butchering it.
anybody does.
Okay, hang on 1 second. Let's see if I'm just gonna go.
I don't think anybody in the whole country of Japan knows how to pronounce it. I think one guy came up with it and was like, "Here, let's see how people pronounce this." Cause if you come out with a new word, the best thing to do is not pronounce it, so everybody else has to try to figure it out, right?
Yeah, you figure it out.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's Wagyu.
Wagyu.
Like that Wagyu. Only 2 syllables.
Wagyu. Gyu it's like it is right at the threshold of 2 syllables. Like it,
Yeah,
on a technicality, it's 1 syllable, but
Japan, they cut out stuff that like vowels that would normally be syllables. Like a lot of times, U gets cut out. Like um, can I'm trying to think of of speaking of a pro wrestler, but like Asuka from the WWE, her name is spelled Asuka. I read that as Asuka the first time I ever heard of it. It's pronounced Asuka. The U is just we just pretend there's no U. So Wagyu, I don't know. We just kind of like. I guess because it's not an English word.
it makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? If Wagyu. Yeah, I guess it's just making sure you do the long vowel sound. The Y is there more as a moderator of the letter U at that point.
Right.
Okay. That checks out. So Wagyu beef.
Apparently, I've never had it, but apparently there's a whole bunch of unique marbling when it comes to the fat versus the muscle in the meat.
It just looks like lots of it. It
it's
is the
all over the place.
whitest piece of meat ever, and it's got to be delicious.
It must taste amazing.
Like I know the Costco's around here were selling them for like $99 a pound.
Oof.
Which that's a good price apparently, but holy shit.
Yeah. We're going to share our Patreon in the links below. If you could subscribe to this so that we can one day taste Wagyu beef. Because as of right now,
that's fantastic.
I ain't fucking with that. Yeah.
Can we even just do a GoFundMe for that?
Yeah, sure. We really, 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 really want to taste this particular meat.
But yeah, even like ribeyes are incredible because there's so much fat in it inherently. Even when it's cooked off, it still leaves its traces about. It's still sweet, delicious traces.
Just kind of interwoven in between all the other. Yeah, it's probably fucking amazing.
It's like, all the fat you trim out, we've blended it in.
Yeah. We've put spices on it.
Now, the Wagyu cows, those are the motherfuckers that aren't allowed to stand on their own legs, and like they feed them beer and massage them and stuff like that.
Yeah, no building any kind of toughness, and you're gonna be dead in like a year and a half. It's not however long they live. Yeah, but yeah, I guess it. I mean, it's kind of like veal, I guess, or something like that, where you don't want them the cows to actually build up a toughness by using their muscles.
Oh, is that
Doesn't develop like
is
it.
that the deal with veal? Is you don't want them to eat?
Yeah,
You got to
baby
kill them before
cows
their
that
muscles
don't
develop.
move. Yep,
Holy
sadly.
shit! Oh, that's
Yeah.
brutal.
I can proudly say that I've never even tried veal. I don't even like the fucking name of it. Just give me a burger. I don't want veal. It sounds like a material. It doesn't sound like food. It sounds like I got a brand new veal seats in my car.
It sounds like you walk into like a high rise in Manhattan, and you walk in, and you're like, and as you look, the marble on the floor is all veal. It's very rare. Just to match the veal curtains we have.
Oh.
No, it's
Veal
a color.
curtains.
It's not the veal curtain. Yeah, that's pretty
Oh,
terrible.
okay.
Yeah.
No, but knowing what it is, really, that
Right,
just
yeah.
sounds hysterical.
It's the color veal. It's what
Right, no, not
it's what a baby cow looks like when it's dead. It's not a baby cow.
right, duh.
That would be terrible.
Inspired by dead baby.
Yeah.
So for the religious folk out there who have a problem with stem cell research, this 3D printed Wagyu beef is from the stem cells of cows. They actually take the stem cells and they're able to science them to reproduce them. I don't know exactly what they do, but you can cause these cells to replicate, and then using that, like the 3D printer, layer it. And here is the case where you were saying, can you print two different materials? They can figure out, okay, this cell here is going to be a fatty cell, this cell here is going to be a muscular cell, to weave that marbling into this 3D printer, which I think is amazing.
And then just to, I think, make it even more amazing is that stem cells know which one to be based off of what's around them, or are they programming these stem cells? Because I feel like that's been like the cool thing about stem cells. It's just like, yeah, they're just waiting to be something else.
It's more like, I don't know how they do it. This escapes me, but it's basically telling them, like so if you're at 15, 25, 130, if you're going by the XY axis, that's going to be fatty. And then 16, 25, 130, the next spot over, that's going to be the muscular. Like, I think it's programmed in, so it tells it what to put where to replicate the patterns.
So it's
because at some point, the first fatty cell has to be printed, right? So it has to tell it this one's, so it can't know that, okay, this is near me and this is what I'm going to be. Like the first one has to be laid down. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that it's somehow programmed.
So, yeah, so that means that there's got to be like like a catalyst or a stimulus for the thing to turn into the thing that it's supposed to turn into.
Probably.
Which, man, even if we the scientists of this planet know the answer to how to do that, that's so crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's so crazy. It's like all the shit we were promised in the 80s of what the future was going to be, flying cars and hoverboards and self-tying sneakers and all that shit. Yeah, we don't have any of that, but we fucking have this. This is amazing.
Yeah.
This is fucking crazy.
Right. Because we were thinking
this.
small. We weren't thinking about this kind of shit.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, we're gonna be able to get where we're going quicker and in the air. Like that was everything that our
right.
Well, first off, everything's in the air in the future. That's
right. Right.
Nothing's on the ground in the future. That was everyone's big fucking concern.
Little did we know, because at the time it was like, oh, we got to go places, so we got to figure out how to do that better. Little did we know the future was going to be like, why the fuck are we going anywhere? Amazon, bring me this shit. Like, like we don't have to leave the house anymore. 3D print me a sandwich.
More Frank Reynolds quote when he's just smoking the bong at the bar. Hey, Deandra, go download me a hoagie off the internet.
We're almost there. We're almost to the point where we can download a hoagie STL and throw that into some kind of, I don't know, whatever renderer or then a splicer and then print it out.
Oh man! And
the one disappointing thing from this article, scientists, I get that, you want to be able to continue doing experiments, but someone's got to sack up. No one tasted the meat.
Yeah,
we printed out Wagyu beef. Yeah, nobody fucking ate it.
Like,
you need me on the science
I wonder.
Team. I would have put my hand up.
Like, it's. Absolutely, I would have eaten that, because at worst you're gonna be patient zero for one of the craziest things that's ever happened on the planet, but at most you got a fucking awesome steak,
right?
Just for showing up. And I wonder if
the price was promising not to sue.
The guys who figured this out and developed the printer and wrote all the code and everything, that whole team, I feel like they have even more of a right than a chef would if you brought out a steak that good and we're like, I don't want it. Like, it's like, it's that level. It's like, I put everything I had into this thing and you're not even going to try it.
I'm going to lick it. Something.
Right.
Yeah. That was disappointing.
I mean, feed it to prisoners voluntarily. There will be prisoners that will volunteer to eat that.
Yeah.
So in the Geneva Convention, they have to put an addendum that says prisoners can eat any science experiment they want as long as they volunteered.
I think that's reasonable.
It is. I don't know what the Geneva Convention was for initially, but it's usually brought up with mistreating people. So that's
no. It was specifically for prisoners and what they're allowed to eat.
It's if you look it up on Wikipedia, it says Geneva Convention, like the actual real one, and then Geneva Convention in parentheses this whatever to show that it's not the same one. And you click on that one, it's just Fred Geneva had a couple of people over and like, hey, prisoners can eat whatever they want.
Yeah, Geneva Convention sounds awesome. You going to Geneva Convention this year, bro? It's gonna be sick. I've been to 4 Geneva Conventions in a row.
Oh, dude, that's gonna be a lot on your credit cards, bro. Well, whatever. You only live once, right, bro?
Right.
There's only 5 to 8 Geneva Conventions a year. I'm gonna go to as many as I can.
Yeah. Live it up.
You imagine putting that on a headstone. Proudly attended over 71 Geneva Conventions in his lifetime. That's what's going on in my headstone. It is recorded forever.
It's official.
This is going on.
I'm the witness. Yeah, I'm the witness, Lauren. This is legally binding.
The specificity of over 71.
Over 71.
Because originally it was over 70. People kept going 71. No, it's 73. All right, fine. Over 71, so they won't keep guessing 71.
Boss, I'm gonna need off next week. Is a Geneva Convention, and I can't miss it. Oh fuck!
Do you think there was ever like a? Oh, it sounds like it could be like a James Bond pickup line. Like, why don't we finish these drinks and we head upstairs to my room for a Geneva Convention?
Okay. Oh, this year I was picked to speak at the Geneva Convention. I'm gonna give the keynote speech.
Shit.
So no, the Geneva Convention was the end of World War II. Just for anyone that's listening.
Okay.
And it's how we gave Germany their what for. But I wish I would have gone. It sounded awesome.
Fucking. They have the whole Geneva Convention. They get back. And then Germany calls up the United States. It's like, hey, what can we feed our prisoners? This is a two-parter. What can we feed them if they volunteer?
Volunteer whatever you want. if they're okay with it, we're okay with
it. They're eating it, right?
Yeah. Hello, America. We forgot to ask.
What shall we feed our prisoners? What if they volunteer? What if they volunteer?
And what if they volunteer for our next topic? 3D printing organs. Can you volunteer to eat a 3D printed human liver?
Oh, okay. I was like, you're gonna 3D print this thing so they can play music at a church and then try to get someone to eat it?
Wrong organ.
Wrong organ. That's something I never heard. All right.
Yeah.
3D printed.
That's no. Yeah. No, which is really freaking cool. So I mean, similar to the beef as far as they get, in this case, instead of stem cells from the cow, you get cells from the patient, and lay down again to build up the organ in layers, and then they have an actual physical organ that they've actually printed these successfully. And they're currently or currently too expensive, but one day could be cheaper than actual transplants. And it's the kind of thing where you don't have to go on a waiting list. They could take your own cells and they could 3D print your organ if a transplant is required, and then replace it with the faulty organ. The only drawback so far is while they have successfully printed organs, they don't work. They can't make them actually perform the function that they're intended to perform.
They can't make them actually org.
Yeah. They're currently they're just Wagyu beef in a different shape. Yeah.
Oh man, can they make us a Wagyu beef that's shaped like a human lung?
I can't see them not being able to do that if they're able to 3D print. But yeah, because you can program this is the shape I want it to be in.
All right, here we go. Here's what we're doing. once this gets a little bit cheaper, or once we start really getting paid for this fucking thing, what if we have a horror-themed steakhouse where you pick the organ you want to eat, but it's steak printed out as like like it just a wagyu lungs or a wagyu liver. You know what?
How about hand?
Yeah,
Because I can't tell what the fuck is, but yeah, let's get something specific where it's like this looks like a human ear, but this is filet mignon.
what if you do like the brain as chicken? Because it's like pink and shit. You can go that route. Or what if you have the type of person you're eating the organ from? Like, I would like to eat the liver of a vegan who exercises regularly, and that's going to be like a grass-fed beef. And then it's going to be like, I would like the liver of a guy who lives at a bar stool and eats fucking chicken wings and french fries and waffles. That motherfucker's liver has to be marbled as fuck. That is absolutely a wagyu.
It's probably tasty.
Yeah, right?
Or I want some grilled chicken. I'm gonna have an Indiana Jones 2 party. I want grilled chicken shaped like monkey brain in a monkey head bowl.
Ooh.
We could do that.
And you could 3D print the monkey head bowls on your non-edible 3D printer.
Yeah. And we never have to go outside again.
And that's the goal. That's the goal.
That's where technology has really been headed this whole time.
And that'd be fantastic because nobody's dying. You're not really eating the person. You're eating a meat meant to taste like a different other meat that's not people. It's just shaped and made to appear as people.
And I mean, to your point earlier, where you were talking about salmon and just being able to 3D print salmon skin, how about 3D print salmon meat? Now 3D printing fish meat in general, 3D printing sushi. Now the problem with overfishing the oceans, now that's not a problem so much anymore because we just 3D we caught one fish and we continue to replicate those cells and use those to 3D print and make new fish meat and stuff like there's ways to use this if someone would have the balls to fucking taste it, but there's ways to use this to actually benefit everybody. Imagine like if this was cheaper than instead of catching animals and shipping it to third world countries, you just send a fucking meat 3D printer over there and all they need is a power outlet. And now these Sally Struthers starving kids aren't starving anymore because they got this 3D printer that just gives them what they need.
Do children know who Sally Struthers is?
I don't.
Not that
people may not know who Sally Struthers is in general anymore. I'm showing my age there, but
and even then, like the only reason she got the bump she did, at least with people our age, is for fucking South Park making fun of her. I think.
Well, I mean, she was in those commercials.
She was in all
South
all
Park
in the family.
made fun of those commercials.
Yeah.
She was in All in the Family, but that was kind of like I don't think I was born yet when she was hot.
Let's see, Wagyu meat restaurants, steakhouse, spooky steakhouse. Oh man, sloppy steaks at a spooky steakhouse.
Ghost shaped. They can't serve you a sloppy steak, but they can't stop you from ordering a ghost shaped steak and a glass of water.
Yeah. And do any of these ghost shaped steaks ever bust out of the wall and run around?
Have like a dingleberry or
you know what's fucked up about if it does become like the common way to feed people is by manufactured meat instead of actual caught and killed and stuff meat. Guarantee you, fucking, I guess there'll be trillionaires by that point, because there'll be several trillionaires on the planet by then. Be like, yeah, we still get actual meat, like, because they can afford it. They can pay a motherfucker to get actual, and it becomes a status thing. It's like, oh, I got the money to afford it, like that kind of a thing.
Yeah. They're like, I only eat bald eagle meat because there's just so many of them.
Yeah, there would be like a solid 6 to 8 years of hunting, I think, when just like everything's just like overrun everywhere, and they're like, fuck, all right, well, we got to curb this population somehow.
Yeah, exactly. Because if you don't need to, I mean, what would happen to farms? All the hands that you have to help with whatever, getting all the chicken in the crops and blah blah blah. Now it turns into you just need a fucking nerd.
I guess they're gonna have to do some studying.
Yeah.
No disrespect to the American Farmers Union or whatever the hell you guys are. You guys are all right. I eat your meat.
Yeah. I do enjoy your meat in my mouth.
Every time. Every time. In fact, you know what? I put a couple of them huevos in my mouth as well. What's the next article?
Last one.
This
one, I saved the best for last because this could revolutionize, like, the whole meat thing and the organ thing. That's amazing, but I feel like this could revolutionize a lot. 3D printing diamonds, or at least 3D printing material that has similar properties to diamonds. So it's not necessarily shiny. This is more about the hardness of it. So the idea that you can make now, instead of mining for these parts for a drill bit, like, you can make drill bits and just boom, 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 bang them out. You can make them these diamond composite, I guess is the better way to put it, but you can make them in various complex shapes, and it would be the hardest substance known in nature in whatever friggin' shape you want it to be in. So I mean, it could help revolutionize industry as far as now you have things that don't break or things that don't wear as easily.
So diamonds are, if I'm to believe what I was taught in, I think it was the first Christopher Reeve Superman movie, is that diamonds are just coal that just have immense pressure on them for super duper long periods of time, or 15 seconds if you're Superman.
Yeah, I mean, coal is just carbon. So what it boils down to is it's carbon arranged in a very, very sturdy lattice, almost.
So they can arrange the carbon molecules to recreate what it would be like had that other carbon been crushed.
So they still need diamond dust or diamond powder. So there's still some element, like it has to start with the real thing, but instead of needing entire diamonds now for stuff, you just need a little bit of powder, a polymer, and ultraviolet light. Those are the three combinations that they kind of put in. And then after the thing is printed, from the video that I saw, they took the thing and the guy locked it in some kind of vault. And there's a post printing process. Maybe this is where they apply heat and pressure. Though all they said in the video is there's some complicated post printing process that then hardens it. So I would imagine that they take this composite, they take the polymer and the diamond powder and kind of make it into a shape, and then put it in a place where it replicates the millions of years of pressure from the earth in however long minutes or whatever they're actually doing to harden the thing. And then you have, again, it's not shiny, but it is carbon arranged in the same lattice as a diamond. So it's, the hardest thing that occurs naturally.
Which, another great reason why I talk to you about things that I read instead of just taking what I thought from it, because immediately my brain went to, again, distrust in rich people. Of the market will get flooded with these, and then rich people will be like, "Well, I have actual diamonds," like that kind of thing. But I did see, and I was trying to find it, and I can't remember what show or documentary or whatever it was from, but there were lab grown diamonds, which is the thing also that they do. They're able to manufacture them in labs somehow. I don't know the specific process with it, but they actually brought them to and had hidden cameras on themselves. They brought them to the Diamond District in New York City and were able to pass off lab grown diamonds.
Oh wow!
Yeah, which
I mean,
I'm sure.
I guess it's probably not too much different than cubic zirconia or something like that. But sorry.
I just like that's probably like counterfeit diamonds in their eyes, but
Yeah.
it's if you
Nobody
can't
bled for
tell.
this. That's
Yeah, right. There's not fucking 7-year-olds digging in the dirt with their bare hands in hopes to find one of these, so the guy with the AK-47 will let him get home that day.
And the weird thing about diamonds and the weird thing about value in general is things tend to be worth more when they're scarce. It's the scarcity of something that drives up the value typically. Diamonds are not that scarce. Like it's just the methods of the way we get them and then the companies that kind of keep a lock on them to only distribute them in dribs and drabs in a way
Yeah,
that rises or spikes up the cost of them.
it's a manufactured shortage, supply shortage.
Yeah, yeah.
It's it's like, hey, you want to buy this diamond for this? It's like, yeah, I do. Well, you know what? No, I don't. I know another guy that has it. Oh yeah. Well, what if I take the diamond and I do this to it? What if it looks like this? Oh shit! Well, no, I gotta have like that's. I feel like that's the diamond trade in a nutshell.
Yeah. This one's red.
Did you ever see one that looks like this? It's like, I mean, technically no, but is that a whole reason for a fucking
Yeah, I'd rather
resource
keep
and
my
supply
money and
chain?
yeah, I could either eat for a year or buy that thing.
Yeah.
I'm good. Yeah, and I mean these diamonds that are being 3D printed, they look like clay. They're gray. Light doesn't go through, but it's not about it's the molecular arrangement that causes the hardness. So again, this could revolutionize as far as tools that need to be replaced or anything like that. It would be so much cheaper to do.
Futurama has a whole good bunch of diamondonium jokes. So, as I always recommend, watch Futurama. Diamondium. There you go. Yeah, I don't have a specific reference tied to it, so yeah, there you go. Watch Futurama.
Well, one day maybe if we're lucky, after you print your own kidney and survive whatever disorder, instead of needing dialysis, you just print up a new kidney and replace it, and then you could take your diamond fork and knife and cut your 3D printed Wagyu beef. And
Oh, get that. You did all the things together.
yeah, all in the hole. And if it's too hot and you get burned, you just print yourself a little. There's too much fucking shit on me next.
You 3D print a tongue cover, a little tongue jacket.
Yeah.
Oh, and you get one of the ones that does two things. So on the inside, it's the healing stuff, but on the outside, it's a white leather jacket.
Smooth.
For your tongue.
Yeah.
It's like, all right. Oh, what if you get the Beat It jacket? The Michael Jackson
On
Beat
your
It
tongue?
jacket on your tongue?
That's how you're styling.
Oh man, I really hope tongue leather jackets is a thing in like 40 years.
It definitely will be. That reminds me of this is kind of has nothing to do with what we were talking about, but there's a parasite. It's like I don't know, it's kind of like a crayfish or something along those lines, where it's like a crustacean kind of thing that goes into fish's mouths, eats their tongue, and then stays connected to their tongue, and that's how it gets its food, drinks the blood from the fish, but the fish continues living, and this crustacean now acts as the fish's tongue.
Does the fish get food in it? It still
Yeah, the
must
fish
get
just
some
it's
food
fine.
in it.
It eats the food, it goes through its blood, and then this thing just continues to feed on the blood. Like it doesn't outright kill the fish or
If you asked me when we started this podcast how many examples of animal kingdom racketeering there would be that we would fucking come across. Like this crustacean gets in the fish's mouth and was like, I'm taking your tongue. You want to live? You got to give me all the blood.
Yeah. I'll be your tongue, I'll help you out.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I noticed you didn't have a tongue anymore. I can be your tongue. You just got to give me all the blood.
Right. I don't have a tongue because you ate it. Details.
Shit. So yeah, under the guise of science at Gmail, Instagram, and Facebook. Where else we at?
On YouTube under the guise of science, TikTok under the guise of science, Twitter at Science Guys. If you're listening to this, by the way, I now use the anonymity and anonymity. I'm anonymous on Twitter is what I'm going for when I'm logged in as under the guise of science. So if you want to, follow me to enjoy yourself, all I do is troll creationists and religious folk and flat earthers, and I kind of have myself a good time. So I'm a fun account to follow if you're interested. At Science Guys on Twitter.
I have just left that as your property this whole time.
Yeah, no, you have. I don't think you've logged in once, but yeah, I've kind of been being a dick. Sorry.
Well, I know I'm gonna be fucking logging in.
Yeah.
Guys,
people say stupid shit.
Yeah, they do.
No, that's all. People say stupid shit, and someone's got to say something.
Someone's got to let them have it. Just like the quick little. You didn't interact too much with people arguing pro flat Earth on the on our most popular reel. Just like just pop in, quick little thing at you, quick little thing at you, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
I love when you got the guy with the Riddler joke. It was
that's the stupidest.
NASA translates to deceiver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why would they?
Why would they leave a breadcrumb?
Yeah. Why would they tip their hand?
Right. Idiots.
Anywho, all right.
Anywho, guys, spelled Guise. I knew you were gonna say that, so I know getting it out there. Sorry.
Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. That's it. All major podcast platforms. Like us, subscribe us, talk to us. We are very approachable.
Text
me.
We are very no. Sorry, I feel like if you were to reach out to us on Facebook, and I've gotten DMs where it's someone that just says hi, that's a scammer. DM me, DM us on Facebook and say, hey, I listened to blah, blah, and gladly we will respond in a heartbeat. But don't send me a link because that's probably a scam because those are the only people who care about us right now. But yeah.
Also, scammers, if you're gonna listen to the show, just fucking turn the work brain off. Stop trying to rip us off all the time. Ask us a question.
at least before you email us, rate us. How about that?
Yeah, that's fair.
Deal.
That's
Yeah.
a fair deal. All right, fuckers. Till next time, we'll see ya.